Okay, this video is what are the best male shirts or the best material for male shirts. And where this comes out of is, I had my laundry in a dryer and my wife wanted to use it and I didn't know. So she took my stuff out and then she saw that a bunch of my shirts have ring around the collar. I don't know if you can see this. It's from the iron in the water. And she didn't even tell me. She just threw out half my shirts. And I'm like, yeah, well, thanks a lot. I got to buy new shirts. And she's like, they're disgusting. You're a slob. I'm embarrassed to be associated with you. And so I'm like, well, I guess I got to buy some new shirts. So I started thinking about it. And, I always know cotton is the best thing. But I didn't really know why. And I was trying to figure out what to buy, and somebody suggested wrinkle free. I looked up wrinkle free, and I had heard bad things about it in the past, but it was much worse than I had realized. The main ingredient you'll often find in wrinkle free shirts is formaldehyde, and formaldehyde comes from formic acid. Ants make formic acid. It's a carboxylic acid with one carbon. So you just make it into an aldehyde, remove the OH group, have an H in there. That's formaldehyde right here. And formaldehyde is used for embalming fluid. It's really toxic stuff. It's antimicrobial. It's toxic to the brain. It's carcinogenic. It can also irritate the eyes. You can inhale it in, and it can cause asthma. It can cause skin rashes like a contact dermatitis. It's really bad. You don't want it. So then you go to look at the shirts, and you'll see, the vast majority of them. 4 out of 5 shirts I've seen on display are non-iron. Non-iron, wrinkle-free, permanent press. They're all kind of similar things there. And it's not just the formaldehyde. They also often will have Teflon in them, just like you have in a non-stick pan. And here's the typical molecule of Teflon is something called PTFE, polytetra. So poly means polymer, multiple of them all in a chain together. Tetra as in four fluorides. Tetrafluoro. Ethylene 2 carbons. So polytetrafluoroethylene, a polymer of this stuff, and that's Teflon. And that's in clothing. It makes it sort of slippery and it makes it more wrinkle free. And it's also a persistent organic pollutant. They call these POPs, persistent organic pollutants. They're also a subset of PFAS, polyfluoroalkyl substance. So what that means, poly, it's a polymer. Fluoro, it's got fluorines in it. Alkyl, it's got carbons in it. Substance, just S to throw on to make the abbreviation work better. So anyways, persistent organic pollutants, these can stay in your body a long time, have long-term toxic effects. They even call them sometimes forever chemicals. You shouldn't be cooking on these nonstick pans with Teflon. It's bad for you. You have a bird in the room, the smoke went up, it'll make it sick. I recently gave a lecture on women who don't smoke cigarettes having increased incidence of lung cancer if they get cooking oil fumes, and this stuff is going to make it worse. That the fluoride, some will get released into the cooking material there with the fried foods. Okay, what else? Polyester. Polyester is really cheap. That's why you see it in lots of clothes. But it's basically plastic. You can think of it as a super soft plastic material. So it's not the greatest things for clothing. Cotton is nice in the sense that it sweats, so to speak, versus polyester is like a plastic bag on yourself, and it's not permeable, waterproof, and the sweat sort of accumulates and sticks underneath you. It's very cheap. It's not biodegradable. It's petroleum-based chemical. Sometimes you call it microfibers. The other thing I don't like about polyester is what it really is PET, polyethylene terephthalate, and the phthalate down here is estrogenic. It's been known to lower sperm counts. And of course, you can think of that with underwear, but if you're tucking your shirt into your pants, as most of us do with a dress shirt, you tuck it into your pants. Okay, it can irritate your skin, rash, dermatitis. It can also have this weird fatiguing effect. I'm not sure I fully understand that, but they believe it has some type of, it causes friction on your skin that generates some type of electrostatic effect that they think is harmful to both the testicles and to the muscles. So an ester just means you have a carboxylic acid, but instead of having a hydroxyl group on it, you replace it with a carbon there. Okay, so this is a polyester. This would just be the general concept of the structure. It's a polymer of these units with the carboxylic acid H group, hydrogen group, replaced by something with a carbon in it. And then here's the actual molecule, polyethylene terephthalate, with the phthalate on it to make it estrogenic. So not good. It can also be associated with contamination with something called antimony. Flame retardants are also bad. You don't want these things. For example, if I have to do a minor procedure where I don't have to wear a surgical gown, I'll just wear some, throw over yourself cheap gown, like for, barrier precautions or something, rather than if I'm doing a procedure that requires, full sterile gown, fine. But the full sterile gowns, the blue ones, they're for doing surgical cautery with the flame retardants on them. So you don't want to wear those if you don't need to. Laundry detergent's also estrogenic. Just the plastic bottle, typically BPA. It's conditioned with phthalates to soften the plastic, and the detergent, nonylphenol. So what I'm going through is these are all things that can have a negative effect with shirts. Better materials are cotton. The best cotton is something called organic cotton, but it can be quite expensive to buy a shirt with organic cotton. Just to buy a cheap old, blend of polyester and cotton, you can get that for $20, a dress shirt. To buy a, organic cotton dress shirt, you're talking like $150 per shirt. Wool is a good material, especially for pants. 100% wools can be good. Silk and cashmere are nice materials, but they're very expensive. Cotton's a natural fiber. It's more breathable, biodegradable, but it's also often sprayed with pesticides. Less so with the organic version of pesticides. Organic cotton's actually kind of hard to find. Be careful about dry cleaning. I don't dry clean my shirts. I haven't done that for many, many years, for decades, because the trichloroethylene and other chemicals used in a dry cleaner are highly toxic, and they're neurotoxic. And again, too, that's sort of one of the things I've been very into, is trying to be as smart as possible. I'm a neuroradiologist. I deal with cognitively impaired patients every single day, and it frightens me, okay? So I can tell you, you have to sort of like play this game if you want to maintain your cognitive function as well as possible long term. And anything that smells bad is bad for you. That's a good rule of thumb. And these things in particular, so these iron-free, wrinkle-free shirts are a bad, bad, bad idea. Flame retardants are a bad idea. And, again, you want to get away from chemicals as much as you can. The only reason I wear these dress shirts is, I need to wear them for work. And I try to dress nice for these videos. When you dress nice, it's a sign of respect for yourself, for your audience, and increases credibility. So that's why I do it. So anyways, hope that was helpful.